Hey everybody, it's Harry Box with the Technical Trader, techtrader.com. It's Thursday, January the 10th. These are the charts of the day. Well, another decent day on Wall Street, and stocks sure had a nice run. Particularly the stocks we follow, a lot of stocks we trade did very well as well. Let's show you a few of them. We're starting off at ADIL, which was a day trade this morning, and it did fine, but it wasn't spectacular. Nevertheless, up 73 cents at 12%. We'll take it. You can see the volume is not big enough for me for a stock but I feel like if this wedge is broken out, that this stock may run into the 11, 12, I mean, even the possibilities of getting into the mid to high teens if it blows like it did over here. Possibility, keep an eye on this tomorrow. Amarin, awfully nice day today, folks. Really nice day. Look, the wedge broke out yesterday. Today it followed through, blew through the 50-day moving average as well, and ran up a mere 332 or 22% on 32.7 million. That's the best volume on an up day we've seen since back here when the stock exploded on drug news back in September. So I'll take it, and a nice day. What we're going to follow or look for going forward is the following levels. The snapback high, this bar high, is 1998. The snapback was 1975. Certainly there's going to be some resistance early tomorrow if this runs up towards the 19.5, 3/4 range. And if we get through that, I look for the following. First, I run at the 23, 3.5 range. Yeah, something like that. 20. Let's call it 23. Yeah, and a quarter half. And then if we blow through that, we're going up towards 27. Now, I'm not sure if we're going straight up there, but this is an important price volume surge breakout kind of day, going through the declining top signs yesterday, following through today, and breaking out and closing above the 50. So stay tuned. APYX, formerly formerly IMMY, and a top 20 pick. Another profitable day. Not a lot of quarter, but 3%. But progress is progress. 5 days in a row here. 12 of the last 13 days, the stock has been up. More importantly, it's gone through a triple top and looks to me like it's headed for 10. ASNS swing trade setting up for a nice little pop, I think. You look at the pop that it had last week, and then the wedge. Looks like that wedge broke out today, wouldn't you say? So I'm looking for a test of that double top up around 4 3/4, 5. We get through that, we're looking at 7 7 1/4. Keep an eye on this one. Bed Bath & Beyond, well, you know, I'm not a big fan of the company or the store, but it doesn't matter. Look at this drop. Now here's a stock that's gotten slaughtered from a massive head and shoulder top on a double top in the 80 range. 80.5 was the high, 2013. Coming all the way down to the 10 11 range. Recently being setting an all-time low at 1046, I believe it's all-time. No, not all-time, but definitely a 20-year low. Anyway, bottom line is the breakaway gap above the 50 with huge volume, 55 million shares, tells me we're going to quickly test that zone, and then we'll see if it backs off and sets up a flag, or keeps running and gets to mid-channel, mid-gap, I should say. There's a line of resistance up around 16.5. That's my next target. If we get through that, we might be looking at 1920. CGC, awesome. I mean, perfect. Especially the pullback we had to midday today, where I put out a swing on it, right in that area, and then it bounced up. If you look at the structure intraday, it to me looks like a large bull coil. Take a look at this. If this gaps up or spikes up tomorrow, I would not be shocked to see this make a move to the 40 range. Now, on the daily chart, the falling wedge is what had me skeptical, particularly this rising little flag type pattern on low volume. But you know, sometimes when they're down too far and they break out, that turns out to be a reversal pattern. Only 1 out of 3 times, but that was the case now. Now there is resistance there. We took that out today with the thrust. There's also a gap there which we closed right at. So for me, either this pulls back and consolidates and sets us up for a big run, or we're just going to immediately go right to 41, maybe 46. I put a swing on it today. I think it'll get there. Quite frankly, I think this is going to be $65, $75 stock at some point this year. Maybe even I'll take it. Clovis is doing great. The B bottom, the 5 ways, little mini move up here. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 1, wave 2. Wave 2 is broken with a breakaway gap 4 days ago. And
a takeout of the early December highs and the stall right above them. Notice how it's held that level for a couple of days and now it's moving up again. My opinion is we either test the top of the channel at 28.5 or blow through it and get up to 32, 31, 32 before it pulls back. But right now, if it doesn't make any further progress and sets up a nice flag, I would suggest going along. It looks pretty damn good. EXCL, talked about looking good. Long downtrend, B bottom, breakaway gap, pulled back and tested the shoulder line, so to speak, and then ran up, blew through the neckline or resistance, and pulled back to the 50. What a nice move since then. It's been up 8 of the last 9 sessions, and it's gone from 17 to 24. Now 24 is some resistance across here. Next target, if it does extend, it would be about 25 and a quarter, and then maybe a little bit more than that. But if you're looking at the angle of the chart, this has gone quite a bit already, and if it does exceed 25.6 range, I mean get up to the 25 and a half range, it might be short-term overbought and due for some pullback consolidation. So careful because it's a little extended, but it's looking good and has strong momentum. FN, outstanding, 5 days in a row. The entire consolidation zone of the last couple months prior, taken out. I'm telling you, this is headed for mid-60s, maybe more. And that's, by the way, that's a 2019 tech theory to pick for top picks for the year. HROW is as well. You can see why. Nice angle, and then accelerating. Today was the highest close in the stock since way back. If you look at where it closed in here, this closed above that and above that range of the last 3 days. So when you go back on this one, on a weekly chart, you'll see it's the highest level and the highest close since way back in 2015. So this is a 3.5 year high, and it might extend to test that 80, 90 zone, and even maybe even get up to let's say $9 there or thereabout in the next before it does that deeper retrace up in that area. Good chart. INS also a top 20 pick, top 30, excuse me. You can see why. Ever since I put it out, it's just been straight up. It's gone from about 14 and a quarter a half area up to almost 20, hitting 1965 today. Now I had channeled up on a parallel basis off these lows a composable channel top, and it's right above where we are near 20. So this may be extended too short term, and it may need to also back and fill and consolidate, but nice chart. INSM, well, I almost put a swing on it today, folks, because this large breakaway gap, and then a 2-day stall to me was bullish, and then today it reversed. Jumping $1.85 or 9% on a million shares, 1.1 million. The volume wasn't huge, and there is resistance right here. I would keep an eye on 23 and a quarter tomorrow. So if it blows through that, it might very well take a run at 27, even as high as 29. Good momentum on that. Solar stocks are getting interesting. I'm going to pick one out and show you what it looks like. JK Solar, Jinko. Take a look at this long decline. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a big fifth wave down, which includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for me, the fifth of a fifth, and then a spike off the bottom, followed by this pullback was the buy opportunity. Here's the breakaway. Went up to resistance, pull back, test the trend line, back parallel to the tops, and now ramping right back up again. You can see where resistance on JK Solar is at 1285. We get through that, this may run up towards 1516. I may put that as a swing. I'm going to keep you posted. Kush Bottles, look at this move up. This is a marijuana related company because they make little medicinal bottles for marijuana dispensaries, and they're the most popular. And you can see the tight rising channel in this puppy. It's been up for 2 weeks, nearly every day, a couple of days of rest here and there. But real good volume. Yesterday's downside volume was heavy, but it came right back up, a good sign. If we get through this area, this entire pattern of the last year could be construed as a base, which could lead to another big move like that. Now, I don't know if it's going to go to 10, 12, 14. And the long-term chart would show you that there was a spike way back when at $10. Now, I don't know if it's going to 10, and I can't estimate that's going to be the case, but I can do this. Draw some parallel lines that could be a long-term channel, and give you an estimate that this stock could at some point be in the mid-teens. So we should watch Kush Bottles carefully, because anytime you have a base that long and we break out, especially if the volume picks up, it could rock and roll. Obviously, you got a spike high here at 8.5. That's my near-term target. We go beyond that, we'll see. Let's put a little line up here at 8.5. where I think the next target might be. Interesting. LABU, folks, how about this recovery? I mean, in 2 weeks, 24 to 48, 100% for an ETF. Almost unheard of, really. No, maybe not, but bottom line is, biotech's recovered, the LABU, which I said was a joke down there. When you saw this down for like 8 days in a row, and then that spike breakaway move with huge volume, that was an indicator. Look how it would have did the next day. It came down, held the low, but had an inside day and then blew out. Now, not overly impressive in terms of the heavy-duty volume on the up days, but no question, this stock is broken out above resistance. And today, this is important, came down with the market drop-off and formed a complete reversal engulfing bar, telling me that it's going higher. Yes, if this market goes higher, we're looking at a run that may take it into the mid to high 50s, call it 56, 58 target. Today's low is important now. I would say support at 42 3/4, and then we're looking at 40. But probably made a mistake in not giving you a swing on this one. Obviously it was strong enough and it had 5 waves down. But let this be a lesson for you folks in long-term patterns. When you see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is 5 within the first wave, and then there's 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've had 8 consecutive days down on the 5th wave with big volume climax and then a reversal volume up. Probably a place where you should consider buying something. Not just LABU, but anytime you see a long-term decline like that followed by this kind of volume. LCI. I put a swing on it there. It ran up for a couple days and then pulled back. I violated the support on the swing trade. It has not been reestablished. It should have been when it broke out of here. You can see it reached my target at 7 3/4, 8. Today's high was 792, up from 4 1/4, so it's almost doubled. But it is, from what I see, a parallel channel top right here. Mid-channel resistance there as well, but it might extend. We'll see if it does. Meat, I mean, fantastic. Look at this chart. Talk about momentum on a low-price stock. You don't see too many like that, but when you get them, they're fabulous. 11 days in a row, the stock has been up. Incredible. And it even took out the October high. Now that I've drawn in a line here with a channel top, I'm thinking, you know what? This may make it, well, first we got to take out the 6.5 area. But when I look at the overall structure of this chart, I'm thinking this is going to make a run up here. At least 7.5 and maybe 8. So back to the daily chart, and you'll see that that's my target for this chart. Now, I don't want to buy it here. If you're in it, you can stick with it, but I would also be careful. After 11 days, you may see the pullback consolidation. However, with this, if this is a strong wave 1, and then we get 2, then 3 could take you all the way up to 7.5. So watch for a pullback, entry out for a swing. Meanwhile, MRTX continues to tick me off, as you know. I love the chart. I like the company. And when it broke out, matter of fact, you may remember that we bought it in there. And it was a big winner for us. After the breakaway gap and a little falling wedge right there. Taking it from about $8 or $9 all the way up to the 60s. It was a big winner last year, 2017 and 18. Then the pullback. Well, when the stock runs from that much, literally from 2 and change up to 60 and change, and it starts to fall down, you're going to get this kind of profit taking. Nevertheless, the V bottom with a spike and reversal. See that big reversal bar? Followed by a big update and then a pullback retest. Then it formed a platform for 2 months before it broke out. This is why I was upset with myself, because this is a no-brainer buy when a stock does this, followed by that, takes out the declining tops line, and then breaks out above the 43.5 resistance level. It should have been bought right there. None of that, but it went 43.5 to 61. Unbelievable. Anyway, at this point it's overbought and it's at resistance. Wanted to point that out. Quinn Street, one of my top 30, and it looks like it's going to 30 at some point. Now, my targets are 21 and 25 going forward. I put a new swing on it today. Tandem. Well, obviously, stock that was the monster of the year last year. Finally went into a pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The reason I say that's 4, it just looks like a 1, 2, 3, and this was a 1, 2, 3 corrective kind of consolidation before that final rollover. Spike bottom, reversal, almost an island reversal, and then the retest there, making what looks like the possibility of a large left shoulder, head, right shoulder,
The neckline's here. Secondary line is here. It spiked from in November. November the 2nd, it spiked up to 44.10. Today's high, 43.98. We're right there, and this is resistance. Now, if if tandem breaks through here, I would look for at least 48 at that level, and maybe as high as 52 at that level. I hear nothing but excellent stuff about this company. So bottom line is it technically looks good. And finally, VCYT, also a top 20 pick, top 30 pick, is also on its way. This thing, when it broke out a week and a half ago, I featured it on Charts of the Day, and I said if it gets over 13.5, it's rocket fuel. Well, it's gotten up to 1662, and it looks like it headed for 18.5, 19, something like that, at the top of this channel right there. Yes, it's extended, and it may pull back at any moment, but what a good-looking chart. And folks, that's it for tonight. Have a good evening. Let's make some money tomorrow. I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.